out. I know why most people are here, so we'll certainly get to that quickly. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and the meeting is being taped by Laura Clifford, and we're also being taped on local cable access. First thing I'd like to do just very quickly is welcome our newest board member, Chris Daniel. Thank you for stepping up to the plate and volunteering. We look forward to working with you and helping you get acclimated as quickly as we can.
Look forward to being on the team.
KG, welcome. Now I wanted to turn the meeting over to John, who basically came up with this whole idea and the nice tribute to both Mary and at least our first recipient, Ed Hart, for all the public service that they've given to the town of Ashland.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, we all know Mary Mortensen. She was my friend, she was this board's friend, and she was Ashland's friend. And we're here today to remember all the contributions that Mary made, not only to this board, but to this community. And I've had the pleasure of serving in various roles in this town, and very few people have touched me the way that Mary has touched my heart in this town. I got to know Mary long before I got involved in local town politics. I got to know Mary, and it's so nice to see members of the AEF are here tonight, the Ashland Emergency Fund. Those Friday nights that I'd be racing to work to go to the then Gamewell building, the smoke-filled Gamewell building with all the tobacco on the walls, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a couple minutes. Rushing there, Mary had no concern about me, but would have concern about my boys, Nick and Andrew, and always wanted to know how they were doing, especially my son Andrew. And you know, as we were going through the autism maze with my oldest son, Mary's public health experience to me was very calming. You can't fix the problems, but it's nice to have somebody, a public health person, just care. And it was very, very nice, and I think that defines Mary. She just cared about everybody and everything. And here is a person who would devote all of her time and her Friday nights to helping raising money for the emergency fund and other causes. And it really touched my heart. And she would always make sure that all the work was getting done, but hey, more importantly, sit down, did you eat? How was your day? Is everything good? She would tell jokes that if you guys know Mary the way I know Mary, I can't repeat those jokes here tonight, but if you know Mary, you'll know that what those jokes were, and they were priceless. And I just can't say enough. I'm a little emotional about, I'm thinking about those memories. Mary did so much in town. Not only was she a longtime board member of the Ashland Board of Health, all of her work with the emergency fund, her work with the fire department. If I'm not mistaken, she was the first female firefighter in the town of Ashland, and she did it with pride, she did it with honor. The flu clinics that she did, all of the outreach to the seniors that she did. She's just a wonderful person, and it warms my heart tonight to see so many people come out here and honor her memory like that, because there's not enough that you can say about her. But the one thing that I appreciated about Mary in working in public services is that Mary and I didn't often agree on things. And with the administration change, she would always make fun of me and say, hey, you look like Mike Pence, and and I don't like Mike Pence, and she would really give me the business about being a Republican. And we didn't agree on a lot of things, but we always agreed to work to the greater good for the town and the community. And I remember one time recently, town council had us in the basement and said, well, you two guys are allies, and because you guys agree on everything. And I remember turning to the town council, I said, well, the next time Mary and I agree on something will be the first time we agree on something. So I don't agree, but we got a lot done. And I was a small part of Mary's efforts, because I talked earlier about the Gamewell building and being, the tobacco smell. And anybody who had been in that building for bingo over the years for the emergency fund knows what I'm talking about. The building was heavily smoke damaged, I'll say, as we look at the fire chief here tonight. But Mary devoted her life, because she was a heavy smoker, into fixing a wrong in her life and never wanting other people to suffer the way that she did. So the little Board of Health of Ashland, Massachusetts, got national attention when we changed the tobacco regulations in this town. And that's Mary's legacy in this town. Mary did it all by herself. And Mark will acknowledge, everybody told us it couldn't be done. And we did it. And that's Mary's memory in this town, and that's something that should not be discounted. And the other thing that we talk about is Mary, later in life, after the tobacco regulations, was really concerned about the vaping issues as well, too. And if you've read anything in the paper, you know, we have some work to do on the vaping issue of this board. So she's a once-in-a-lifetime person. She was always willing to give a helping hand, always willing to give a lending ear. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to, you know, remember her and for all of her hard work. And as I sit and look at her family legacy here, my good friend Susan, who I've known for years, and when I first became a selectman, I remember Penny telling me, be good to my Susie. Be good to my Susie. She was always concerned about it. Chief Roby's here, Diane's here, Ron's here, the kids are here. It's just a great legacy. And with that, Susan, I want to kind of put you on the spot. We want to present you with a small token of our appreciation for everything that you did with your mom, and you carry on that legacy for her as you go forward. So, no, I'll come to you. I'll come to you. You know, the Mortensen Roby family is strong in Ashland, and Diane, you've been a great member of this board for 20 plus years, and you've walked me off many of ledges over the years, and you know, I appreciate that, and I appreciate everything the chief has done and Ron's doing for the kids in the school and everything like that. So Mary's memory is going to live on long after this night and everything like that, and we're all proud of it. So thank you for allowing us to be part of it and honoring your mother here tonight. And then another person that's special in the room tonight, 41st wedding anniversary, and he chose to take you here, huh? You might want to rethink that, you know, going forward, all right? Ed Hart and his wife Janet, 41 years married today, so. You know, Tom Brady gets a lot of credit for being able to defy age. I've known Ed for probably going on almost 20 years now. He looks the same today that he looked 20 years ago. So I don't know what you're telling Tom Brady, but you can tell the rest of us, you know, Ed just doesn't age. He doesn't age. He's a nice guy. He's a great guy, smart guy, always polite, always willing to help, always just a phone call away. So we couldn't think of a better person to honor tonight in Mary's memory than Ed Hart. Tell a little bit of story about Cadillac Paint. Cadillac Paint actually started back in the 1930s in Ashland. It was a paint and lacquer company, for lack of a better term. And back in the early 80s, the DEP got involved and said, uh-oh, we got a problem up at Cadillac Paint. And storage tanks have been leaking into what they think was groundwater development. The owner of the property caught wind that the DEP was going to come down on them, and they disappeared. And we couldn't find them for many, many years. But Ed was appointed by the selectmen back in 2005 for a committee, and he's worked day and night on that committee since 2005. And luckily, as the town manager here, good evening, Mr. Herbert, as we go to town meeting, we're going to right that wrong finally. And all of Ashland owes a debt of gratitude to not only the rest of the Cadillac Paint Committee, but Ed. Ed has never taken his eye off the ball, and kudos to you, Ed, for doing that, because we're going to turn that wrong into a nice right. So thank you for that. Ed has served on many committees in the town. He was a member of this Ashland Board of Health as well, as part of the tobacco reform that we did. Ed's expertise on pesticides is unbelievable. Our chairman, Ron, tonight saw the binder that Ed has put together, and it's overwhelming, to say the least. Ed's made great contributions on the Warren Woods Committee over the years. He's been served on numerous other committees, and recently just stepped up and is on the Finance Committee now in town. So he's played a great number of important roles in the town, but more importantly, I can't tell you, he's one of the nicest guys you ever want to meet. So it's nice that we can honor you here tonight, Ed. And Ed, with that, I would like to present you with a proclamation, and I'll read it. Whereas the Ashland Board of Health, in honor of our longtime Board of Health member, Mary Penny Mortensen, has established an annual award in her name, and the Ashland Board of Health will present the Mary Mortensen Public Health Award to a deserving community member by nomination and a vote of the board, and Edward P. Hart Jr., a former member of the Board of Health, was essential in the creation of pesticide regulations and comprehensive tobacco regulations, as well as leading the charge through his longstanding efforts in the remediation of the Cadillac paint site. And whereas Edward P. Hart Jr., through his many years of public service and dedication to the health and wellness of the community, exemplifies what it means to be a difference in the realm of public health, and now therefore, we, the Board of Health of Ashland, do hereby recognize and honor Edward P. Hart Jr. as this year's recipient of the Mary Mortensen Public Health Award. We urge all residents to make known their appreciation for Edward P. Hart's devotion to the town of Ashland. We wish him good health and good fortune. So Ed, please, come on.
Well, thank you very much. I've always thought the most honorable thing you can do in your life is to be a doctor, and along those lines to be a nurse or a veterinarian or a dentist. It's because people like that use their time and their energy and their intelligence to help others. And Mary was a selfless servant. She was a mother, a nurse, and as John said, was on many committees. On this committee, I had the pleasure of working with her for a year and a half, and Mary was tough. She was smart. One of the things that Mary taught me was patience. She also was very patient and very restrained at times when I wouldn't have been. I think personally that more important than who gets this award this year and in subsequent years is who it's named after and what it's about. And I can think of no better person than Mary for it to be named after. I just wish she was here. But I thank the board for their consideration, and I know for the first time in my life I'm rather speechless. But thank you very much.
Wendy, can you take a picture? Michael, come on, get up. Michael.
To make a quick motion to take maybe a 5-minute recess.
5-minute break,
These,
yeah.
yeah? Any, let these people go?
Yeah, that'd
Okay.
be nice.
Yep. All in favor?
Yep.
Yeah.
Aye? Okay, all right. Take a 5-minute recess.